Mr. President, Chairman, distinguished guests. First of all, I would like to thank all the speakers for their informative and interesting briefings. Coming from Iceland and being a director of the Icelandic Coast Guard, I would like to look at this from a little bit different angle, but directly linked to the topic, the governance of the Northern Sea Route. It is quite clear to all of us that the Arctic region is gathering increased global attention due to its dynamic geopolitical factors. There is a need to look at the region from a global perspective because the global impact of the ecological transformation taking place in the Arctic due to climate change goes way beyond narrow traditional state and regional interests. To be able to have a good governance of the Northern Sea Route and to ensure safety, security and good stewardship in a wide perspective, you have to look at adjacent areas also. Iceland is strategically located in the middle of the North Atlantic, and a big portion of predicted Northern Sea Route traffic will pass through our region, either east or west of Iceland. Therefore, the Icelandic government has been preparing for this new development for the last decade. Strategic decisions were taken in recent years to reinforce and restructure the capabilities of the Icelandic Coast Guard with new equipment, new techniques, new way of operating in an international perspective. These crucial developmental transformations were made with encouragement and support from our President. One of the main focuses in this progressive work was increased cooperation with our neighboring countries and other counterparties. That includes, for example, exchanging information, sharing best practices, common exercises, and exchange of personnel. Cooperation between all concerned is essential when something goes wrong, and that is in fact the common understanding. For the last years, the Arctic states have reevaluated their tasks and response in the area. And only 10 days ago, a huge step was taken toward collective efforts when we, the heads of Coast Guard services of the member state of Arctic Council, signed a joint statement on further cooperation of Coast Guard functions by founding the Arctic Coast Guard Forum. With this statement, the Arctic nations have committed to enhance maritime cooperation in this remote and challenging environment. This is an important milestone in our collective efforts to promote safety, security, and environmentally responsible maritime activity in the Arctic. This agreement is modeled on the North Pacific Coast Guard Forum and the North Atlantic Coast Guard Forum, which was formed in the year 2000 and 2007. Meeting regularly, these front-runners and forerunners share strategies, conduct exercises, and coordinate operations to leverage limited resources and bring each nation's jurisdiction to bear on transnational threats. The Arctic Coast Guard Forum will hopefully be an operational entity to leverage collective resources and coordinate communications, operational plans, and on-the-water activity. Governance of Arctic sea routes must be based on many pillars, both in the Northeast region and in adjacent waters. Iceland is an important link in that perspective. And that brings us to what Iceland can contribute in this context. At the moment, there is an ongoing work forming a multinational search and rescue hub in Iceland. The Icelandic government summoned a steering group of experts tasked with creating proposal for the implementation of a multinational search and rescue hub in Iceland. Iceland's position in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean is important for civil protection in the Arctic. The Icelandic search and rescue region is vast. It's stretching over 1.9 billion square kilometers around the country. Within the region, there are very remote areas which are difficult to access, even with state-of-the-art equipment. Natural conditions in our waters are demanding. Strong winds, limited daylight, dynamic ice, and extreme cold are factors that contribute to the likelihood of accidents and at the same time present challenges to preparedness and response. This multinational search and rescue hub in Iceland is envisioned to be a partnership of neighboring countries where, based on the nature of emergency, nations participating in this platform would be able to conduct operations and in some cases oversee search and rescue in the Arctic. Many conceivable emergency incidents in the Arctic would be considered transnational or international incidents. And Search and Rescue Hub is an invitation to our neighbor and partner countries to further strengthen cooperation and coordination in the Arctic. The hub would present an important support to safety in the Northern Sea route, and by boosting response capabilities, it will be yet another step towards practical utilization. And despite any underlying issues or disagreement between nations, it is of the utmost importance to ensure exceptional cooperation and enhanced communications between all stakeholders in this critical, unforgiving area. That affects more than just the Arctic nations, as it is a gateway for the world, as has been mentioned here frequently. Iceland is ready and willing to support the gateway by providing a joint platform for safety in the Arctic.